Hello again, everyone. It's Manu here. We're doing another Western warm-up series, this time with one of the greatest solvers the West Coast has seen. You already know him. You love him. It's Brendyn Dunagan. Bendy, hello. How's it going? Introduce yourself for everybody on the WCC channel, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me, first of all. Everything's going good. I'm Brendyn Dunagan. I currently hold world record clock average and the North American record single, and I got 2 podiums at Worlds.
It's yeah, pretty solid introduction, Bendy. Bendy, like yeah, and, talk a little bit about like where you're from, like where you compete and stuff like that.
Okay, so I'm from SoCal, the SoCal area, like north of LA, Santa Clarita, if you are familiar with that. I just compete in the SoCal area for the most part. I'd like to expand out in the future though. Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, how long have you been cubing, and what's kind of like your origin story a little?
Okay, so I've been queuing for like 8 years, but I think I seriously started like speed cubing in like 2019. So that's like 6 or 7 years ago. Don't make a joke out of that. Um, yeah, so my like origin story kind of starts like when I was very, very young. I was like 5 or 6 years old, I think, and I saw like Felix videos on my YouTube. So I thought it was very intriguing. And then I came across a cube in like at Barnes and Noble, like very, very long time ago. And I was like telling my grandma, I'm like, hey, I really want this. And she's like, you'll get it for Christmas, don't worry. So I waited and I got a 2x2 and a 3x3 for Christmas. And I thought I could just like solve it because I was just like really cocky like that. So, and obviously I wasn't able to. So I kind of gave up on that for a while. And then when I was like 9 years old, I picked up a 2x2 and I actually like sat down and like learned how to solve it. And it was actually very frustrating for me. But, I got the hang of it. And then ever since then, I've been hooked on cubing. So, yeah, that's kind of where my cubing whereabouts start.
Yeah, no, it totally makes a lot of sense. I mean, pretty similar story for a lot of us. Felix was who got me into cubing too.
For
So yeah,
sure.
makes sense. We have a lot to thank Felix for. I
Yeah.
remember the first competition you were at. That was actually in Slow,
Hmm.
which actually quite a bit away. So yeah,
Yeah.
what happened? Like there was a big gap between, I guess, like when you started and like when you actually competed for the first time.
Hmm.
And yeah, tell everyone a little bit about your first competition, in particular, how well you
Okay.
did at your first competition.
Okay. So I had like a competing gap because like I didn't really know how to go about like competing, even though I wanted to. And I always thought that was like something I wanted to do. And then when the time like actually came, COVID hit and like the comp got canceled pretty much. So like there was no like there's nothing I could really do. So I just like sat down during COVID and like grinded like unhealthy amounts, which I don't really recommend, but that's kind of how I got like really, really good at like everything for the most part. And then when it came to like competing, yeah, I think competing in my first round was definitely like nerve-wracking, knowing that I was already like pretty decent. um, I think after like my first 3 round, like I was already chilling. So yeah, I just like went on to like get good PRs, and especially the clock results were very unexpected. Did very good for myself there. Yeah, I think the average was like 12th in the world at the time or something. So yeah, definitely, I was definitely very happy with that. It was a crazy experience. Like I didn't think I had like lower expectations going into it for sure. So I was very like hyped to exceed those expectations for myself. And yeah, that's definitely been like that was definitely like a huge motivator for my whole like cubing career.
Yeah, totally makes a lot of sense. I guess with that time in COVID, do you think you had like that kind of gave you time to explore like all the different types of puzzles that the WCA offers? Because you are really good across a huge number of events.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was definitely like a sole like thing in like becoming all like an all-rounder rather than like a specialist for sure. I just had like so much free time on my hands, like I had nothing else to do. So like I just like pick up a new event or like learn an Alex set and then I'd like pick up the event like 2x2. I just learn like full EG and then I just start grinding solves over and over again. And like I just get like decent at it and eventually like really good. But yeah, I think COVID definitely gave me a lot of free time to like explore different events. I kind of regret not exploring blind as much, but soon soon it'll come. The time will come. Yeah, I'm kind of not focused on like blind events as much, but they're pretty intriguing to me still. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only claim to fame
Mm,
I have versus you is that like yeah, I have some better blind results, but that's
for
about
sure.
it. Um,
Yeah.
so of like all the events, like what would you say is like your favorite? Like sure you can do all of them, but like I'm sure you must
Mhm.
have like some favorites.
So it actually fluctuates for me.
Hmm.
I find fun in like any event, to be honest. Recently, definitely like big cubes and like 3x3 has been like my main focus in the past like couple weeks. So I'd say like big cubes for the most part are probably my favorite events right now. Even though, oh, and square one too, I guess. But like I don't know, I'm practicing big cubes the most right now, so I just say like big cubes. But one day it might be like Mega Minx or something because I'd be like practicing it or like Scube or something. Like I used to practice a lot of Scube, so like it definitely like fluctuates for me.
Interesting. What do you think like kind of drives your kind of interest in one event or like basically like when you switch events, right? Like what do you think is kind of driving that like motivator to switch?
So I either like just like get like random motivation sometimes,
Mm,
or like I have like a comp coming up or something, or
mm,
like I just see like some random thing that like kind of like turns on my brain for that like specific event, and I'm just like, wait, that's actually like pretty interesting. Cause like I still look into like even if I'm not like as good as in an event as another one, like I still like to like see like theory and stuff about it. So like yeah, I if I see something like it might motivate me, it might not. So that like kind of drives me to like practice a new event or like switch. Or if I just have like comp coming up, I'll practice. Or like especially like major comps, like I have like every event, so like that's just like another chance to like PR or something. So I might as well like take advantage of the opportunity.
interesting, interesting. How do you kind of so this is like the problem with all rounding is really fun because you
Hmm.
can compete in like a bunch of different events and like you don't get
Hmm.
bored as easily. But then the downside
Yeah.
is it's really hard to kind of maintain your skill across all the events. And you are like currently the Western champion across like 6 or 7 events, like somewhat unironically
Yeah.
6 or 7 events.
Yeah.
So like how do you like kind of keep up your like abilities? Like how do you kind of devote equal time to practice, or do you devote equal time to practice all of them?
I wouldn't say I devote equal time necessarily because all I don't think of all rounding as like specifically like maintaining, but like I have like I can just like kind of pick up events again and like de-rust, I guess, because if I already like got the skill at one point, like I can just get it back again. That's how I think. So like I used to practice like a lot of Mega Minx, for example, but like recently I haven't at all. But I'm sure if I just like picked it up for like a few days, like I can just like get back down to where I was before and be like content with my results. But even if I can't, like I'll just like set lower expectations for like competing and I would be perfectly fine. Um but yeah, I don't know. I haven't really like I haven't been like switching events as much recently because I just have less time. So yeah, that's why like big cubes are attractive is like the skill transfer is like very
Mm.
good for like, maintaining multiple events at once. So yeah, I don't like devote equal time per se. Like clock, I'm like kind of rusty to be honest. Like I'm just gonna use this week to like completely like de-rust and whatnot before Westerns. But yeah, I don't know. I don't devote equal time. Like I watched the Stanley Chapel video about like all rounding,
Mhm.
and like I feel like that definitely altered my perspective because I definitely used to be someone who would like try to maintain my skill in all events at once, and that is horrifically tiring.
Mm.
And like especially like nearing the end of high school, like I just don't have the time for that. So like I find it more enjoyable to just like focus on a few events at once rather than like everything. Cause back then I had so much more time, but I've come to realize I don't anymore. So yeah, I just like I don't know, I just pick what I want to do and do it.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the conundrum with getting older is like you always have to realize, man, I want to do everything, but I don't have time to do everything. So then it's like
Yeah.
prioritizing the ones that are most interesting or have the most potential to
Yeah.
to kind of grow at the time. So what would you say are like
Hmm.
your focuses going into Westerns? Like what are like the events that you want to win outright slash get Western champion or defend Western champion in?
Okay, definitely my main event's clock in square one.
Mm.
Definitely, I've kind of already have square one in the bag unless I like horrifically choke somehow. And then clock is like anything can happen. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna prepare for knack by trying to do like decent in my rounds because I haven't gone that many this year. I haven't competed in clock or square one since January. So I'm just gonna like set lower expectations and like prepare as well as I can before the comp. But honestly, I'm more focused on like big cube PRs and whatnot because I feel like I can like heavily improve upon those PRs. And I've been capable for a long time. I just don't get that many chances to like improve. But like, especially like I've been practicing a lot of 7x7 and I'm like kind of notoriously like very mid in seven compared to like 6 and 5. So I've been improving a lot in that. And I'm pretty much like guaranteed to PR maybe. So yeah, I'm kind of just gonna go for like a sub two single or something in that. But also like 6x6 is something I've been practicing a lot. And like I've been doing like deliberate big cube practice, which isn't like I have like a very like long history of like mindlessly solving because like that's just how I improved at first. And then it's kind of like carried on to now, which isn't
Mhm.
very good. So I've been like over the past like 2 or 3 weeks, I've been like deliberately practicing like big cubes, trying to like improve my look ahead, and I've seen like pretty substantial improvement in my times. So I'm pretty excited to compete. Yeah, it should be good.
Okay, wow, that's actually really, really, really exciting because, well, okay, I'm gonna burst your bubble. You probably are not gonna win or get Western champion in 6x6 or 7x7. I mean, if that were to
Yeah,
happen, I mean, something crazy would happen, right? But certainly,
absolutely.
certainly, I think clock and square one, you are, I mean, clearly,
Yeah,
clearly, clearly the favorite. You mentioned that you
I'm
had.
not too focused on wins or anything.
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm more focused on like the PR aspect and like everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
sub two 7x7 single is quite the accomplishment. So, certainly rooting for you there. One of the things you mentioned is that you hadn't had an official round of clock since January. That comp in January, you broke the NAR single
yep,
at that one. So tell me a little bit about just like your clock journey overall, because it's kind of gone all over the place. There's
yeah.
loads of good. There's one kind of bad moment.
Oh my
Um,
god, absolutely.
but yeah, so just walk me through like your whole like clock progression. How did you get into clock, and then how did you kind of like get up to the point where I mean you are the world
Yeah.
record holder now.
Yeah, so I got into clock later than most of my events, but like I was just like naturally good at it. I had a natural thing for clock. I got to like sub six very easily. I got like a clock in like February of like 2021, and that was the first time I ever touched a clock. And then with that same clock in November 2021, that's when I got like my 515 average. That was like third in North America at the time and like 11th in the world. And then I used that same clock to break my first North American record, which was like 4 years ago at this point now. So I just had a natural thing for clock. And then I think like I got 3.94 average with flip back in 2022. And I didn't beat that average for a very long time, which I probably should have, but like I struggled a lot to beat it and I never did. And then I switched to seven simul in October of like 2023 is when I started like grinding seven simul. And then I got down to like very like world record capable like average times, right? So I go to compete and it just doesn't transfer over at all because I was so used to like just doing stuff at home and like
Mm.
expecting it to transfer over in comp because that's just how it works for me somehow for like every other event. So I went on like a multiple month like streak of just like horrible like results with seven simul, just like DNFs, like horrible averages because I was just like a crash out and like a nervous wreck the whole time. Like it was horrible. So like my last comp before NAC 2024, I did horribly, and I was like, I really took a step back because I had like no other choice. So I really took a step back and like analyze my solving style. And I think this is where like my mindset started to shift in general for competing. And like I like temporarily made myself slower to
Mm.
like to gain better like competing habits. So I would just like kind of like comp style solve the whole time. Like I would never go all out or anything. and it's still like a thing I do for clock now. My nerves are a lot lower now that I've like kind of achieved everything I've wanted to besides like world champion. But yeah, so knack went very well, and then I won with NAR average,
Hmm.
and I feel like if I didn't get that, like my progression would probably be a lot different. But I don't know. I feel like the breakout, my true like breakout round was like semis, because that's when I actually like had a chance at like NAR average, because I like DNF'd out of it on the first solve, so that like meant that I had to safety the last four, and it would still have been like close anyway. So I was like very motivated. I was like, okay, like finals might be a breeze. Like we'll just go into it, and then it worked. And then yeah, I had a streak of pretty good rounds for like probably like 7 rounds after NAC. I think I was just like straight low three, or like close to sub three. That's when I got my first sub three average, and then I got another sub three average like 2 rounds later in the same comp. And then I didn't beat that PR for a while actually. I just had like a lack of rounds. I think I had like a 5 month break in there, and I did horribly at that comp. And then the last single I got, or the last solve, clock solve of that comp, I got NAR single. So I was like, at least I got something out of it, even after like a long competing break. Um, and then yeah, I went into like worlds, or I went into Southeast champs and then worlds. I didn't do too great at either, besides like podiuming at worlds, obviously, which was like definitely good. I would have liked to win, but I can't change that. But yeah, I think after Worlds, like I've been like very low stress competing wise, but I just haven't gotten many chances. And I think recently I've improved a lot. So yeah, I think in the near future, like sub two average is definitely possible for me. But I'm not gonna like rely on it necessarily, because like I can't rely on something if I don't get enough chances. So
Hmm.
I'm just gonna like go for like mid two averages, like like in the next like two comps that I have before NAC 26, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, that's kind of like my whole clock progression. Yeah, I definitely had a humbling like like few months of just like straight horrible results, and I think that definitely like changed the course of like how I compete in clock for sure. But yeah, that's my whole journey.
Wow. I mean, that was actually really interesting to kind of listen to, especially like the rounds that like didn't go so well, right? Because I think that you are most remembered probably for like the incredible celebrations, the just the amazing results, which um I mean, you're a magnet for ridiculous results, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I
Um
don't know why.
but it is actually really humbling to hear about, like, okay, like, hey, like here's some rounds that like didn't go your way, and like how you kind of dug yourself out of that. And
Hmm.
it's actually pretty inspiring to hear. It's like, okay, well, that shift in mentality actually not only just helped you for o'clock, but also just like overall, and like having
Yeah,
better vibes and better relationship with competing in official rounds,
yeah,
especially
absolutely.
with like such a volatile event like clock, where I mean, even factors outside of your control can just completely like
Yeah,
change what goes on.
yeah, clock's really hard to compete in, and like I'm glad that I like found my groove, because I don't stress out anymore. I kind of just like go into it with like whatever mindset, but also I just like treat every round as like a learning experience anyway
Hmm.
for like any event. And I feel like clock, that like humbling clock phase where I was doing horrible, I think that really like shifted my perspective on how to compete and how to like manage like my emotions, because like obvious like I cried like 3 times after clock rounds in that whole phase, and that's like something I never do. So like something was up
Yeah.
at that time. So I'm glad I was able to like take a step back and like reevaluate the whole situation, because it wasn't going well. But yeah, I treat like every round as like a learning experience, even if it does bad, because like I think most recently, like going for like world record, especially, like I just used every like fail was like one step closer, so
Mm,
I didn't mind at all. So it's like you're one more no away from the yes, right? So like
mm,
I'm just gonna keep going. Like failing's a good sign for me, because I'm just like, okay, well, like there's something to be learned. So like why would I be mad about it? Like
yeah.
it doesn't really matter to me. And then yeah, I don't know. My competing hasn't been too great as of recent. I had one great average though. The one with the NAR single, what you're talking about. That was actually like the world's first like sub two potential average, because
Mm,
I started with 2.0, 1.9, and 1.6. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't need that much for sub two, right?
Yeah.
So I think the best possible average is like 188 or something
Mm.
ridiculous like that. That's like very good. Um, but I came very close to it though. I DNF'd the fourth, and then I was just like, I I I came very short on the last one, and it was like point oh 0.03 off or something. Still very good. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely like having that round was good. Yeah, the other two rounds didn't go as well. Like for example, like the first round, I had like 2.3, 2.3, 2.5, and then like a 6 or something. And then I cube dropped on last thing, got a 5. And I was just like, well, I was one good sol away from like a decent average. So like
Hmm.
that's fine. Like
Right.
I didn't really complain about it.
Right.
So and then
Right.
next round I did good.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, oh, BPAs, like, oh, who cares about BPAs because you didn't actually get it done in the end. I think my
Yeah.
mindset is a little bit different where it's like, well, if you have world record BPA, that means that you put yourself in a position where world record was even possible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Whereas, like,
I
yeah.
love that mindset. I love that mindset because, like, even if you're nervous on that pace, like, you know that, like, since you've done it, like, you know you're capable of doing it. So, I don't know, like, I feel like I've learned that, like, you should be grateful for, like, the nerves you get on, like,
Mm,
pace. Like, Daniel Carnock taught me that. He just said it sometime, I don't remember when. I thought that was very, like, inspiring to me. So, like, yeah, I like that, like, good mindset. Like, I don't know, like, the BP I was talking about, like, not very reasonable to get, obviously, like, I'd have to get another NAR single to get it, but,
mhm,
like, I'm obviously, like, capable of it, so, like, that's nice. And, like, also, like, even if I was, like, short of world record, that just means I can get it even more, so, like, totally fine for me.
yeah, no, I think that's a good mindset to have. And actually, I think your like the way you approach things is very similar to the way Maddie looks at it, where it's like everything is data at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Where it's like this went wrong, it's like okay, well, yeah, it's like sucks in the moment, but now it's like how do we take this data point and how do we improve on it? And I really
Yeah.
like what you said, where it's like every failure builds up towards the world record, which
Yeah,
is
like, especially with Maddie, like you were talking about,
mm,
like, he going for sub 5 for that long,
mhm.
like, that's just, like, the same thing I kinda did, but his was at, like, a much larger scale of time. But, yeah, I've always, like, liked that mindset for sure.
Yeah, no, totally. Absolutely. And I'm sure that also, contributes to being able to perform well at like big championship events. Like, so not even just like our
Yeah.
regional championship, which is,
Mhm.
pretty stacked regional, all things
Yeah, I'm
considered.
excited. Yeah.
But like, that goes up to like, the national championship, the North American championship, and
Mhm.
then the world championship. So let's kind of talk about
Yeah.
like some of the highlights, right? Like we talked
Mhm.
about kind of some of the negative emotions. Let's talk about some of the
Yeah.
the awesome emotions. Dude, walk me
Let's do
through
it.
the first world record, the first sub two
Okay.
at La La Land. Kind of set the stage for the audience and what kind of
Okay.
competition this was and what time of the evening this record was set.
Definitely, like, the comp of all time for me. That was a different experience. Um, yeah, I have no regrets from that comp at all. Um, yeah, so, yeah, that was the second comp I think it was the first comp after NAC, after winning, so it was already on, like, a high kind of, and I was very excited to compete because I had all the things like that was like were on my chest like taken off. So I was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna just go into it and everything will be fine. Like it'll be great. And then I DNF my first solve. I DNF Nar single on the first solve, which is like I was just like, okay, well, like I'll just safety the rest, like just no big deal. So I get like PR single after like two years or something, safetied, and I safetied a three, and then I slow turned on the world record single, which was like the most insane scram I'll ever get in comp. But yeah, I don't know. If I feel like if I didn't DNF that first solve, that probably would have been like overall PB or something. Like I think I have like a 1.1 down solve on that scramble, like ludicrous
Wow.
scramble. But like I didn't care, so I just did it, and it was like whoa, like a one. That's crazy. Like yeah, I don't know. I remember I was doing like comp sims before the round and I got like a 199 and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like this is not happening. And I remember my dad saying like, are you gonna get sub two single? And I'm like, no, like I'm not getting sub two single. And then I got it. I was like, okay, well, sure, I guess. And then I PR averaged with another safety on the end. But yeah, that I'll never forget that. That's like my phone wallpaper or something. Like the picture I took of like the timer. Like that's like my wallpaper on my phone. But yeah, I'll definitely never forget it. It was that was a crazy experience for me. Even though I like cared about average more, like the single was just like, well, I'm capable of a world record now. Like this is amazing. Like I love it. Like I was like that was so motivating for me. And then yeah, the next round I DNF'd out of like NAR average. I didn't care because I already got WR single. So
Yeah.
why do I care?
Not to mention, I think it was like 11 p.m. or 2 a.m. or something insane. That was one of
Yeah, it
the
was
last 20 rounds.
one, yeah, 2 a.m. world record.
2 a.m. world record. That's
Yeah,
just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
yeah.
Oh man, no, that it was certainly a very surreal moment, and something that I think that's really interesting about you is that you have so many fans. Like I think like the
Yeah,
entirety of SoCal is just your fans somehow. So tell me a little bit about how
yeah.
like you kind of like feed off like your friends' energy and your family's energy also.
hmm I don't know. I don't really think about it too much, to be honest. Like I'm also just like a normal person there. I'm like I don't think of myself as anything special. I just like to I like the social aspect of queuing and like talking to people and stuff. Like it's great to have fans, but I don't really think of them as fans. I think of them as like friends. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So like I don't like everyone's like a friend to me pretty much. It's not like I'm being like fanboyed over or anything. I don't like take it that way. Like I just like get to know these people and it's like awesome to like, make more connections with people.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think you definitely do have fanboys. Like
For
100%
sure.
there are people who
No,
are like,
yeah.
"Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like Bendy is like my
Yeah.
guy or whatever." Um
Yeah.
no, definitely. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about 3 by 3 because that's also something you said you were
Oh,
kind of
I'm excited to
working
talk
on.
about 3x3.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's
Oh yeah.
tell me a little bit about like yeah, like what are you working on in particular leading up to Westerns? Like what does your
Okay,
practice looking like?
so like I said earlier, I've been like deliberately practice, especially with 3x3. I think I've improved very substantially in the last 3 weeks for the first time in like 2 years or something. Like I'm like on top of the world with 3x3 right now. Like I'm not usually either. But yeah, I'm getting to like sub 6 average of 1,000. So I hope that I hope that I could like transfer that to comp. Even if I can't, it's fine because I care more about like knack. But like my deliberate practice is becoming mindless to me now. So I'm so excited to compete in Theorethi, which is like very unusual for me because I kind of just treat it as like a buffer event because
Mm.
I have like I focus on like clock and square one and like big cubes for the most part. But like 3x3 has been like a main focus for me for the first time in a while. And I'm like very, very excited to compete this weekend.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. What? So what kind of goes into your deliberate practice? Can you kind of leak some
Yeah,
secrets a little?
so it's kind of interesting. I have like I have a weird thing with like look ahead issues, and like
Mm,
I've kind of like realized that like more than like other top solvers, I like have like horrible look ahead for some reason. So like I like struggle to like track pieces, and I just like kind of expect them to like pop out to me instead, which is like very bad for like bad scrambles. So like I kind of took like a step back and like I was like, okay, we're gonna like start tracking more, and like I just did that for like a week or two and it's just like mindless to me now. So like even if I like can't plan as much, like I can still like rely on the tracking to like save me. So like a bad scramble might still be like a low 6 and I'd be like perfectly fine with that. But like in comp, like I'd like falter on that. I'd probably get like an 8 or something. Like that's like very common for me for some reason. But I don't know. I think I've been like competing like kind of well-ish recently considering that I don't like practice it that much. Like I've been like mid 6 for the most part, but I think now like I can be like low to sub 6 like hopefully consistently. Um but yeah, I think that I'm like my solving style has definitely like evolved in the past like 3 weeks,
mm.
which is like crazy for me cuz it hasn't for a very long time. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see like how that'll transfer over in westerns,
Okay.
especially in the head to head.
Yeah. The head to head will be really interesting too because So I've always thought of you as a little bit more of like a TPS based solver as opposed to like an out knowledge, look ahead,
Hmm.
that type of solver.
Yeah.
And because it's a singles based format, right? I think if
Mhm.
you have good TPS, there is just the potential to just get like a crazy scramble,
Yeah.
where you just like completely just like out muscle, so to speak,
Yeah.
anyone else who's like trying to do something more efficient. So
Hmm.
I think that'll be interesting. I mean, you've competed in like head to head type tournaments
Yeah.
before. So talk
Hmm.
to me a little bit about like what you're if you're doing anything in particular to kind of prepare for like the head-to-head side of it also.
Um, I don't know, I have a weird thing where I like imagine like a scenario in my head while I'm solving, and I've just like naturally done that for a long time. Even before I like started competing, like I just like imagine myself in a comp for some reason. I don't know why that like works in my brain, but it does. And I feel like that's why I'm like naturally good at like holding my nerves together. So like head to head wasn't like I think of it as like a very fun thing because I don't know, it's like less boring than an average for sure. And like the crowd goes hype and I love the crowd. So like that's just like perfect for me. So I don't know, I'm not like preparing like deliberately for the head to head. I'm kind of just like excited for it.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. We're really excited to host it. It'll be
Yeah.
one of the only head-to-head competitions that'll ever be held in North America, or at least
Yes.
there'll be very few and far between.
Hmm.
So yeah, we're very excited to host it. I think right now, I think my guess is that it'll like anyone who gets a sub six will almost certainly make it into the head-to-head final, and probably if you
Yeah.
get sub seven, I think you definitely have like a good chance. But then again, I'm sure other people are preparing as well. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see some of the round one, round two results. That's the other advantage of Westerns is because
Yeah.
4 rounds of 3x3, you get some time to kind of like because there's no way you're not going to make round two, right? So
Yeah,
um,
like it's just like buffer or it's just like, see the atmosphere and just like play around with it, I guess. Not big of a deal at all.
yeah, yeah. So I think that that'll be kind of nice. What do you think kind of needs to go your way um, in order to get sub six or even get close to breaking your PR 563?
Um, I don't I don't know. Like I haven't like I don't like feed off of good scrambles, but I mean nice scrambles would be good. I think a PR close to PR is definitely like possible on like normal scrambles. Probably. I'm not gonna like hype myself up over that though, because like obviously I don't know how it's gonna be, especially with like improving rapidly right before like a bigger kind of comp. Like it might not transfer over immediately, which is like totally okay. But I just like I don't know, I just hope for like good solving because whenever my solving's in a flow state officially, I think that like fives are very easy for me if I can just like nail the flow down, and I've pretty much like do that on like most of my solves now. So I think I kind of have that in the bag, kind of. I don't know. It's just like I'm more focused on like better like solving style rather than like the times. And I'll just like
Hmm.
let the times play out and just see because a good solving style or a good flow in a solve is usually indicative of like a nice solve anyway. So like I'm not gonna focus on the time as much. I'm just gonna focus on like nice flow.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense because again, it's like if you have good flow, then even if the time isn't there right now, it's a good indicator. It's like okay, well, uh,
Yeah.
if a couple other things go your way, you get slightly luckier. Like maybe that means that you
Yeah.
get a better time in the end while having good
Hmm.
flow. And then I guess it also like narrows your consistency, right? Instead of relying on
Yeah.
like ridiculously good turning, really good scramble, it's like okay, well, on the
Yeah.
average scramble, we do pretty well too.
Yeah. That's definitely like an issue for me before.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, I couldn't like I just like completely die if I got a bad scramble. It's just like what am I even supposed to do? And like lack of tracking, especially in comps, like horrible. And since I've like worked on that now, like I've finally like caught up to where I probably should be officially. And like before like my 5.6 PR average, I was actually kind of working on that. And then like it kind of like drifted out of my brain after
Mhm.
that. So like I didn't really like ever beat it again. So, like, I think that, like, the 563 scams weren't even, like, notably good either. I think, like, the last one was pretty good, and I, like, clutched PR off of it, but, like, the other ones were, like, not that great, to be honest. So, like, I don't know. I think based off, like, my PR average experience and how I was, like, preparing for that, I think that, like, sub 6 is, like, pretty easy will be like pretty easy, even though it's kind of like a mental barrier, kind of because I only have like two of them in comp.
Mm.
Even and I counted a 4 recently, and I didn't even get, like, sub 6 off of it. So, like, there's, like it's definitely, like, a little bit of a barrier, but, I think that, like, based off of what I did with, like, my PR average, I think that sub 6s should be, like, not hard at all.
Okay.
But I'd be even happy with, like, low 6, like, consistently. Like, if even if I got, like, a 6.2 average, like, that's perfectly fine. That's, like, better than average in comp recently, at least, so, like, there's obviously progression there, so
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think there's only two people in the field who would be disappointed with like a 6.2 average. And that's Max and Dylan, right?
mhm.
Everybody else, I think, like a 6.2 is like a particularly good average, and it's certainly very, very, very
Yeah.
competitive. If
Mhm.
nothing else.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I okay now. Listening to you being excited about 3x3 makes me really excited to watch you do 3x3.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have my eye on. I also got some great stuff to put on the tracker now too. So
Awesome. Yeah,
that'll be very exciting.
I'm super excited for people to see. Hopefully I do well, but, I don't know, all I care about is the better solving style in comp, so
Totally.
we'll see how it plays out.
Totally. Yeah, and as you say, it is somewhat of a warm up to NEC anyway, right? Which is the big
Yeah.
fish.
Mhm.
And a win there is probably going to be pretty unlikely, but like to get into finals at all at a continental championship
Mhm.
is certainly a huge deal, and certainly you
Yeah.
have the caliber to do. Well, you have the caliber to do it right now, like even just like results
Mhm.
wise.
Yeah.
And so like to hear that you're improving is actually extremely, extremely impressive. So awesome. I love
Yeah.
having Westerns representatives
Yep.
in 3x3 finals. So awesome. We
Yeah.
can plus one to that for NAC.
Yeah, yep. Hell yeah.
There we go.
That'll be good.
Okay, let's move on to a different part of the interview now. I kind of want to talk about
Mhm.
like non-cubing stuff.
Mhm.
So one of the things you said is that like yeah, you have less time, and that's very 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 natural.
Mhm.
As you kind of like go through like high school and stuff. So
Mhm.
tell me about how like you've kind of like balanced cubing and like school and or other interests a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm kind of still trying to figure that out a little bit if I'm being honest, because like I do find myself like distracted on queuing a lot. But like I think like for AP exams, I really took a step back from queuing and like focused on them, and I think I did pretty well. So like that's kind of like a motivator for me to like like it's fine. Like I was hesitant to like take a break off of queuing because I thought it would be like very like I don't know, like, detrimental to, like, how, like, I solve or something. I don't know. I was, like, nervous about, like, losing skill or something. That's just, like, I don't know. So, like, it's, like, reassuring to know that I'm able to, like, take a few weeks off and, like, focus on school and whatnot. Because like, I'm not, like, the most academically, like, inclined person, if I'm being honest. But, like, recently, in, like, the past, like, 2 or 3 months, I've kinda tried to focus on school a bit more. Um, but yeah, I think I'm still trying to figure it out, but, like, I don't know, like I was saying earlier, like, I used to, like, have so much time, and, like, my brain still, like, kinda thinks in that kinda way,
Mm.
so, like, it kinda, like, transferred over negatively in this kind of sense, with, like, school getting harder, obviously, and more, like, work to do. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I've kinda had, like, a very reassuring, like, experience with, like, taking a break because like, that's probably like, the longest break from queuing I've had in a very long time. So, yeah, it's reassuring to be able to come back and be, like, improving in 3 by 3, like, that hasn't happened, like, forever. So, like, especially after, like, 2-week break, like, that's, like, perfect for me. Like, I can, like, focus on school. So, yeah, I'm kinda trying to figure it out, like, make schedules for myself and whatnot. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly easier said than done, especially for someone who's
Yeah.
competing at like the caliber that you're competing at. But
Mhm.
I think you're right. I think it is really reassuring not only to improve after like taking a couple weeks off, but also at your level to improve is really, really, really hard, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even if you're like someone like me, it's like sometimes hard to improve. Sometimes you just kind of get stuck. But like you are
Yeah.
competing at like literally like a world class level, so it's really, really, really
Mhm.
good to hear that like even while taking time off, you still feel like you're improving and getting better
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, for sure. That's been, like, so reassuring to me, like, I'm so, like, on top of the world about that, like, in my head, I'm, like, so excited for, like, what the future holds because, like, I don't know, next school year, I hope to, like, do better academically for sure. Um, but yeah, it's, like, reassuring that I can, like, take time off and, like, still be, like, perfectly fine, and that's, like that's like kind of like a mental block I've been trying to get over
Hmm.
because like naturally, like I kind of have like a natural addiction to cubing,
Hmm.
but like I know that I can like take breaks now, so that's very good for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've kind of like broken out. Yeah, it is kind of a mental barrier, I guess.
Yeah,
And it's awesome that you've been able to kind of prove that to
yeah.
yourself too.
Hmm.
Cool. What are like kind of your other interests outside of cubing, like school subjects or
Um,
sports or other hobbies?
I like I like math a lot. I
Hmm.
might I don't know. I was like thinking today I might like self study like Calc 2 stuff for fun or like I don't know.
Okay.
Just like random just like random stuff. Like it kind of just intrigues me. I don't know, like learning stuff outside of school is like more fun than learning in school for me. So
Hmm.
like I might as well just like get a head start. I don't know. But also like I don't know, I like to take a lot of walks too. I think it's like very good for like mental clarity. I like highly recommend going on walks because they're like so good for the mind and like being able to like get off my phone and look at like trees or something like that's just like very like therapeutic for me. So I like to do that. And also I've been trying to like get into like exercising more for sure. I don't know, I've kind of been like on and off because like I struggle to like make a schedule for myself, but I'm kind of like getting the hang of it. So yeah, I don't know, like exercise, walking. I used to be like into photography a little bit, but I kind of like haven't found enough time for it, I guess. So
Hmm.
maybe this summer I'll try to like get back into it. Like I used to take pictures and like post on like a photos account on like Instagram or something, which is like still up, but like maybe I'll come back to it, because like photography is pretty, relaxing as well. So a way to open up my like the creative side of my brain, which is like very rare for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we are a little bit spoiled here in Southern California where it's a lot easier to, take a walk or go find a pretty place
Yeah.
to take photos, certainly.
For sure.
Yeah, I
I
think
agree.
I was hearing from my other friends around the country and they're like, "Oh, it's like insanely hot here. It's so cold here." And I'm like, it's kind of been like mid 70s like every day for like a couple months
Yeah.
now."
Yeah, it's been like the same for like a while. So yeah, it's nice to like be able to go walk outside. It's actually like, pretty hot today, but
Maybe hotter
that
up
isn't
where
really
you are.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Because I'm like farther from the coast a little
Yeah.
bit, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, definitely a little bit warmer.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, yeah. I mean, those are some pretty fun hobbies, and yeah, hopefully you find some more time to do so. If you do any photography around Raleigh, I think it'd be really cool to
Yeah.
kind of see like both like kind of keeping and photography kind of blend a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I should think about for sure.
Totally. Okay, let's start to get to like the conclusion parts of the of kind of the interview here.
Mhm.
What kind of inspires you to kind of like continue practicing, continue doing cubing? I mean, one of the things, and the reason why I'm thinking of this question is recently you gave like a talk at like City of STEM was this competition that we had as part
Mhm.
of a STEM festival. There was like a stage and everything. It was kind of
Yep,
legit actually.
it was.
So tell me a little bit about that, and then tell me about how like things that kind of motivate you to kind of keep on cubing, not just improving, but also just like being
Mhm.
around in the community.
I don't know, being around in the community has definitely been like really good for like my like thinking and like brain development, I think, because like obviously my brain's not fully developed yet. And I feel like I've like caught on to very good like habits throughout like queuing, like especially within like stress management. Like I'm like way less stressed, like more than like a lot of people I know, to be honest, just because like I've figured out how to like manage stress under pressure and like I just apply it to whenever I feel pressured in like other situations, whether it be like personal problems or like I don't know, like school or something, right? So like I think being around the community has definitely like helped with my like own personal development for sure, especially like becoming an adult like in not that long, like that's very important. And I feel like I have like a very good trajectory like in my head. Like I know what I'm gonna like how to like manage stress and whatnot, which is like very important for me. I have like a natural drive for cubing. I've always have, and like that just like keeps me practicing because like especially now that I've been like improving in like some of like my favorite events, like that's definitely been a huge driver for me recently, and like I don't plan on stopping during the summer at all. So yeah, I just have like a natural drive towards cubing because it's not like compete against other people type of pressure. It's like it's not even pressure to me at all, to be honest. It's just like improving for myself, which is like very good. That's like the major thing I like about cubing is that like people who get into it don't need to feel pressured to beat other people. They can just like improve upon themselves and be better than they were before. And that's like so like nice for me because I feel like I'm not like comparing myself to like other people or anything. If like in like other aspects I kind of do, which is like kind of like turns off my drive for that kind of thing, which is like something I can improve upon, obviously. But I don't know. I feel like I have like a very natural drive for cubing because it's all about like beating like yourself from before and like congratulating each other for like beating PRs and whatnot. Like it's very like friendly and just like nice environment to be around. So that just like keeps me cubing all the time.
Yeah, yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's a lot of reasons why I'm still around too. It is very, especially when you do all events, right? It's very reassuring to know that okay, yeah, I can just go to another event and like put some time into it. It's like, hey, look, a shiny new PR. Sometimes that's very
Yep.
very motivating.
Yep.
Yeah. So to anyone who's like might be listening, I guess like what are some either some lessons you've learned from cubing or maybe some people who aren't in cubing, why should they kind of get into cubing?
I think getting into cubing is like very beneficial for like I feel like just like any like personal development because like and like just making connections in general because the community is very friendly for the most part and like there's not any little to no judgment at all at like comps because as I said, as I'm gonna say again, like you're just like going to like beat your own PRs, not like beat other people's PRs. And even if you like, have like friendly races with other people to like, like race to like sub eight or something, like even that is like very fun too. So I feel like just like the environment is very friendly and like welcoming. And I feel like the lessons I've like learned from queuing are very like useful in life. Like I was to say, like stress management, like that's been like huge for my life, especially with like certain issues that may go on in like my own personal life. Like I feel like I've like developed like a stoic kind of mindset, and it's
Hmm.
just like life moves on anyway, like I might as well just like figure out how to like tackle this issue. And I kind of think of it in like cubing terms like this. I think of it like I'm nervous for a solve, but like I have to do the solve anyway. So like I might as well just like not be nervous and just like do it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've developed like a very like stoic mindset to life with cubing, which is like I don't know, that sounds kind of weird. I don't know, but yeah, that's just how like I don't know, that's just how I've like personally developed through cubing, and I think that can be very beneficial for like a lot of people.
Yeah, no, totally. It's a very interesting perspective, certainly. Do you
Hmm.
have like any inspirations, like either cubers you up to, or even just like people in general who like kind of
Hmm.
give you energy, motivation?
I don't know, just like the people I met through cubing are like, they like there are big reasons why I stick around in cubing. Like I made some of my best friends are from cubing and will always be like my best friends for like the rest of my life probably. Even if we go like separate ways, I'm still always gonna know them. Like I feel like cubing is like very like nurtured like online like um connections and like I can keep connections with people even if they're like across the country and whatnot. So like going like majors is very fun because like I get to see like my friends that I haven't seen for like a whole like half a year or two a year. Yeah, and like inspirational figures to me, definitely like Felix in cubing for sure because he's kind of what like drove me to get into cubing for the most part, like when I was like very young, like 5 years old or something. So like yeah, and then I feel like my family for sure like is very encouraging of like my trajectory in like cubing and especially like how it's impacted my life. They can also like see how it has impacted my life, and they're very encouraging to like everything in the cubing community. So that definitely keeps me going for sure.
Yeah, certainly. It's you always know when Brendyn Dunagan is in the building because the Dunagan family always brings a very welcoming and very fun energy to
Hmm.
the crowd, certainly. And yeah, I mean
Yep.
we love seeing the family support as well.
Hmm.
No, I think that's wonderful, fantastic stuff. Okay, I think we're basically ready to wrap up. Is there kind of anything else you want the audience to know about you that we didn't cover
Um,
here?
Not necessarily. I'm just like excited to compete at Westerns, and I hope to see some of you guys there.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be awesome. All right, Bendy. Last thing. tell the good people where they can find your how they can follow you, your YouTube, Instagram, whatever you want.
Oh, yep. Okay. Well, yeah, I have YouTube. You can just look at my name, Brendyn Dunagan, on YouTube, and you find my YouTube full of like official solves, at home solves, and whatnot. And then yeah, on Instagram, you can also do the same thing. Look at my name, and I'm also on Facebook, not as active though. And you can also go to the cubicle and use my discount code Bumblebee for 5% off. And yeah, also new like kind of like new announcement, but I'm now also sponsored by MoU. So yeah, check them out as well. Absolutely.
There you go, everyone. Brendyn Dunagan, shining star here out west. Thanks for taking the time to sit down and chat, my friend. Best of luck at Westerns.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and thank you so much. Well, it'll be awesome to see you there.